Welcome to our second episode of On Point, the Adelman Effect. Cathy Adelman and I are here with two Viewpoint lifers from two different generations with at least one remarkable thing in common, their love and admiration for Cathy Adelman. Thank you, Allison, and thank you, AJ, for being part of this special podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
So today we're reflecting on all of the ways that Cathy has inspired you over the years, what your individual viewpoint journey has been, and what your hopes and dreams are for future lifers and, in fact, all future Viewpoint students. But before we get started, we have a little surprise for Cathy. We'd like to play a little something that was prepared for you.
Graceful, witty, intelligent, whip smart, heart of gold. Just so much more than that.
I'm so happy you're the head of primary school and you always have a smile on your face. I love Miss Adelman because she makes me happy, and some years I spend Christmas with her.
She changed the course of my life. I had come to Cathy to see if she would leave Viewpoint and start a school with me. And she said, well, I was going to offer you a job today at Viewpoint, and it's easy to see who won. And so my life has forever been changed in a beautiful way because of Cathy Adelman. Cathy has made an impact on my whole family, starting when my boys went to primary school a long time ago. And I got to watch them under her care, under her guidance. She's shaped who they are as people. They had an incredible experience with her, and I always just deeply respected her for her work. Having been able to now work with Cathy for a year and a half, she has honestly become one of the most supportive people in my life, in every way. Lovely is the word I think of when I think of Cathy Adelman. She's so gracious and lovely and always appropriate, and I've learned so much from her.
Mrs. Adelman is always smiles and always kind.
She supports me in my personal life. She is my biggest cheerleader. She believes in me and sees things in me that I have to discover in myself, that I am learning to discover in myself. She is supportive of me on every single level that you could possibly support a person. And I learn so much from her every day just watching her in action. She has this incredible ability. She has many talents, but one of them is to look at a situation, whether it's talking to a child, a group of children, a parent, teachers. She can look at a situation from every angle, which is very hard to do because oftentimes people come at situations from their own vantage point. Cathy can see it from all vantage points, and then she can get to the heart of it every time. And she validates everybody's feelings, but she just makes so much sense. It's like this incredible way of empathizing and really getting to the heart of what's happening. And I'm constantly in awe of her. She's masterful.
Mrs. Adelman brings the whole school joy year through year, and we can never stop laughing because she really brings us laughter.
That was the best. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be a puddle.
Cathy, that
Thank
was
you.
your assistant head of primary
Yes.
school, Vanessa Harrington, your colleague, head of lower school, Claudia Antoine, and
Yes.
your students.
Yes.
How to make you feel hearing their voices?
Well, my heart is just full. And as I've said before, the goosebumps are flowing at this moment. And I love all of them dearly. And I think that their comments were lovely and generous. So thank you. That was Do I get to keep a copy of that?
I think that can be arranged.
Oh, so wonderful. Thank you.
Plus, you get to work with them.
I get to work with them. And that's another reason I love coming to work every day. The people I get to work with and the children I get to see. And so happy to have AJ and Allison with us. And
Yeah, so Alison Steelberg Corneau, tell us about your path from student to alum to employee and parent and the impact Cathy's had on your journey.
Well, I will echo what Claudia and Vanessa have said, that Cathy has changed my life. But Viewpoint's my home, has been. All the people here are my family. And I say that lightly, but it's all I've ever known. I met Cathy as Miss McNally. I started in kindergarten, and she can yank a loose tooth really well. She can deliver discipline.
You know that from personal experience?
I actually do.
my husband lectured me every time I told him I pulled a tooth because he's a lawyer. And he goes, "Why are you doing that, Cathy?"
Sometimes it's what needs to be done.
It's what needs to be done.
And in the absence of a school nurse, we had Miss McNally.
Yes.
And I have a lot of memories just throughout all of my 13 school years here as a student, but then they all kind of blend together as well. But really what stands out for me is that this is just my home. This is my family. And, she could even, or you could even deliver discipline as a lesson. It didn't feel like you were necessarily getting in trouble if you had to go to the office. You just felt like you were going to leave and learn something. And I can definitely say that as an adult now. But Mrs. Adelman is always there. And coming back as an adult and having the opportunity to meet and know her differently as an adult, you are relearning how to know your educators. Not all of us can say that we can know our teachers as adults, and I have the opportunity to say that about so many people I continue to work with here, including Cathy. And I am a better educator, a better friend, a better person, a better colleague because of Cathy. And she does believe in you. She sees in you what you don't see in yourself. And I think that's a magical gift. And coming back as a teacher and being a part of these wings that you custom make for students. You give every student their own little set of wings. And whether it's being made with the right teachers and the right curriculum and the right amount of love, and I get to be a part of that as someone who works in your division, but then I also get to be a part of that as a parent, having my two children come through here. And it's a gift. It is a gift that, you can't put words to, you can't put a value to. And I've been reflective, and, maybe it's because my own child is finishing her year as a lifer and coming full circle. So it's pretty special, and there are not enough adjectives, there are not enough words to describe the gratitude and the gift we have from just working alongside or being a part of your life is being a part of my life, and it's pretty great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
AJ, you're a senior, class of 2023. Also a Viewpoint lifer.
Yes, indeed.
Tell us about your 13-year path and how Mrs. Adelman influenced your journey.
Well, I feel similarly to Miss Corneau. Viewpoint is my home, and it is truly all I've ever known. My preschool was in my house, so the only school I've ever attended has been this one. And I can't have imagined a better way to spend these 13 years. And since kindergarten, Mrs. Adelman, as I knew her then, and for most of my life, has been there for me in a very unique way. Not to go into too many details, but when I was in kindergarten, my dad was diagnosed with leukemia, and that struggle continued for the next 5 years, and it shaped that time. And Mrs. Adelman, when she first found out about that, immediately was there for my mom and for him and for me to support us and just be there for me when I really needed her. Whether that meant just being around to talk when I needed to, or on a few occasions taking me out of class and taking me on a walk and letting me calm down and just be with her. And she was always sort of this aura of like calm and security and just always there to keep me stable. And she was just my rock during that whole time, and I can't possibly thank her enough for that. She also drove me to school every morning from first grade through 2 years ago, and so we also had all of that time together when it was just another person in my life that I knew cared about me and wanted to hear about my day and wanted to hear what was going on, and there aren't enough words to thank her for that.
Well, I have to thank you too, because you're the son that I never had. And to have you in my life and to watch you grow and succeed and just become the man that you are today, I'm so proud of you and so very proud and blessed to have been on your journey through Viewpoint with you. You mean so much to me, AJ.
Thank you. I would not be who I am today without you.
Love you.
I love you.
Kathy, can you?
Oh, goodness. That's over here.
Kathy, can you share a memory or a moment about Allison and AJ that stand out for you? Each of them. It can be sentimental, funny. How have they inspired you over the years?
Well, first of all, watching Allison grow up was an honor. I was a babysitter in their house. So we had weekends together sometimes. And
having Miss McNally come and be your babysitter in your house, that must have been extraordinary.
Well, before you go on, I don't know what you're going to say. You know,
I can't wait to.
I know. When you're little, you know, especially when you're little, and I think I see this every day just in all the students and the teachers, like your teachers are really cool and they're really awesome and they're excited. It's so, you know, so many of my memories blend together, but I do remember being excited that Miss McNally was coming to, like, we felt special, like, what? My brother and I get to be babysat by Miss McNally. Like, that was cool. You know, if I was a middle schooler, I probably wouldn't have thought so. But, you know, when you're a kid and you have this larger than life amazing person, like, coming to your house to babysit you, you know, I didn't know she was getting paid for it, you know? So, you know, when you're little and you just think the world of these adults in your life who don't, you don't know they're adults. They're just people in your life who happen to be adults and teachers. So I thought it was pretty cool.
it was really fun for me too. But just watching Allison grow up and then having her own children, having her children here, it's this generational thing that's so special. And I get to see her mom once in a while, which is wonderful. And it just goes back to the level of community at Viewpoint and how much we really value each other, not only as students, but as friends, and we could count on each other. And there's a high level of trust, I think, when you have someone else come into your home and you just know that it's going to be fine because they trust you. And the thing that I would say most about Allison right now is just the spirit that she brings to the school. She is the one in the tutu. She is the one who's racing down the courtyard and hands are up and everyone's getting excited because Allison is around. And, during the pandemic, she was the one in the parking lot who was helping everybody feel good about what was going on when we had our drive-thrus. And in camp, she is amazing with all of her antics and songs and everything that she pulls the kids in. She pulls the teachers in. And so I would say about Allison is she is just a center, the center of lots and lots of things. And you've created a wonderful technology program. You are so invested in makerspace and always the one to say, what can I do to help? And that is truly valued. And I love you too.
Oh, thank you.
Lots of love in this room
There's-
today.
And for
overflowing.
any alumni listening, you're now taking on a role as our alumni relations coordinator, which has been exceptional. Just, I would say I've only been here now 8 years as the head of the school, but I've watched you grow in that time as well. And by the way, congratulations, you acknowledged. But for those who don't know who are listening, parent of Annabelle in the class of 23,
Yes.
and your
Maddie,
daughter Maddie in
yes.
the class of 25.
Yeah. Thank you.
But you'll also be a senior parent celebrating at graduation this year.
Yes, not a senior citizen, a senior parent.
Senior
Yes.
parent.
Well, I will say and just thank you, Cathy. That was very kind. To be allowed the freedom to, have the energy or wear the tutus or, you're only as good as the people you work with. And I am better because of the amazing people I work with and being allowed that creative expression, not only in the people who work under you, but in just the students, and yes, we have a uniform and we have, a very kind of structured part of our day, and particularly in primary and lower school. But within that structure, you have provided so much of that creative expression for all of us, whether the adults or students. So
Thank you.
for letting us be expressive.
Thank you.
I hope you hear that. I can't imagine you in a tutu, Cathy.
I
but,
can't imagine me in a tutu either.
But it's nice to think that you have a share in that because we shouldn't take it for granted. How about for AJ?
Well, AJ, I could go on and on. I think back when you were, very small and how much fun I had with you in the car and all of our conversations. And, as you started to get older and you'd tell me about your classes and what was going on. But I think for me, the biggest thing is just how proud I am of you. I tell Neil all the time about what you're doing and how you're doing it. And you're just a person who wants to dig into everything. And when you go in 150%. And just so many things with the technology and the robotics and the dance and all of your studies. And, you work hard and you've gotten amazing grades. And your mom shows me your grades. I didn't know if you know that and all the comments.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
So I see all of that. But, the one thing that I think is the most outstanding quality that you have is that you help everybody around you. Students who don't understand a concept, students who want you to just check something for them. And no matter what time of the day it is, you are on it and you are giving them the best advice, the best information. And it just goes to the quality of your character. I think that you are one of the most outstanding people I've ever met in my life. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you.
Thank you. So many of those qualities were shaped by you and Viewpoint's primary school, I do have to say.
Thank you.
What did you, as lifers who've grown up here with this Viewpoint family, what did you think when you heard about the Cathy Adelman Endowed Fund for Financial Aid?
I can only speak for myself, but with the education and just the upbringing, because it truly does feel like a home and a family that Viewpoint has given me, that being offered to more people, I can only be a good thing. And I think that's an amazing opportunity for everyone. When my parents first enrolled me at Viewpoint, the times were slightly different. And if with the situation my family and the world is in now, I could not be a current kindergartner at Viewpoint. That financially would not be feasible. And so that makes me sad, because I have no regrets about Viewpoint, and I wish that everyone could experience what I experienced in the last 13 years. So making that available to more people is amazing, and I think that's a great thing.
You think if A.J. Williams were 5 years old today, that your family wouldn't be looking at a Viewpoint education for you? Yeah.
Yes, not without this, not without the Cathy Adelman endowment.
Wow.
I think this fund is so appropriate to be named in Cathy's honor, because, you know, buildings can go up, names can get put on rooms or courtyards, and those are valuable too. And but I think going a different path, it's not better, it's not worse. It's something that can continue to provide, whether or not the building, you know, remains or needs to be redone. This fund will remain for so many other future generations, and allow a family who, oh gosh, can I consider Viewpoint? No, I can't consider, it's too much. But then having the gift of, you know, the option of being able to be a recipient or someone who receives money from the fund, and then to receive the education and the care and the love to provide that foundation, that really solid foundation as a young student, I think is just it seems too perfect for Cathy to have her name on this endowment fund, rather than a building, a room, which again is equally as special. But I think this will go a little deeper for especially the students receiving it, because no doubt if, you know, they'll be able to learn how to pay it forward. It'll contribute, I think, a lot to their character as a student, whether that student knows it or not, that they'll be able to be a part of a strong community of educators, like-minded people who want to try to give the best for their family. And not to say that other schools and other parents don't want to, but being able to have Cathy's name on this is pretty spectacular. And having been a recipient of financial aid, it's not anything I can truly express the deep gratitude I have for being a recipient of financial aid, both as a student and as a parent. So it's magic. It's magic. So thank you.
Thank you.
Listening to the two of you, I realize we have some things in common. While I didn't get to be a Viewpoint lifer under Cathy's care, I think she knows this. I don't think we've ever spoken about it, that in my challenges from time to time as the head of this school, I check in with you, Cathy, about the most important things. And you're an important touchstone to me to allow me to bring my best to school. I think about what I hear both of you talking about the kind of love and support and inclusion that you show each and every child. And I know, therefore, that if I bring a challenge to you, that I'm going to get perspective, just as Vanessa was saying in that video, and that I'm going to get support and wisdom.
Thank you.
And it's very moving. I also grew up in a single-parent household. I didn't grow up near any schools like Viewpoint, but I also know that, yeah, my mom would not have contemplated an education like this. In fact, I remember there was a grade school teacher who spoke to my mom about, like, other schools out there. I don't know what she was talking about. We would have had to move. But it wasn't even something that she could even imagine.
Yeah.
What do you wish for the future of Viewpoint learners a generation from now?
Ooh. I think, to simply state it, the love of learning, and continue just fulfilling the curiosity, so that when that little curiosity gets filled, the next part of curiosity can open up and just explore, learn, discover, love. Yeah, just the joy and the love of learning. I say joy because there's a lot of joy and joyful sounds and smiles and, no doubt it's felt school-wide. It's just shown a little bit differently in the primary and lower school, and I'm partial since I teach down there.
It is one of the happiest places on campus.
But
I don't know
the
if you'd
joy,
agree,
yeah,
AJ,
the joy
now
and
that you're in
love.
the upper school.
Absolutely.
It's just expressed a little differently. So
Yes.
just continuing to find that love and that joy of learning and the brilliance of curiosity and what that can open up and explore.
What you just said could not have resonated any more. That's exactly what I feel now, and what I know now has gotten me to where I am, is that curiosity. And looking back, I realized that I have as much curiosity as I do because it was so encouraged from when I was very small, and inspiring and encouraging that sense of wonder of young people, and just wondering about things and then being awed by learning about them. It's something that it grows and it builds, and it just becomes more and more love of learning, like you said, and the joy of learning, which never does go away, even if it is expressed differently.
I think your dad planted a lot of those seeds when you were young,
That is true.
because you were looking at stars, you were doing experiments. You and your dad, AJ, would talk to me a lot about that, the different things that he did. And it was just, we miss him, but we also know that you're living his dream. You truly are. And he's so proud of you, just like the rest of us are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And your mom has a lot to do with it, too. She circles around and makes sure everything's going like
true.
clockwork. But
She-
I
she-
just remember those conversations with you telling me about all the different things your dad did with you. And it's wonderful to know that he's right there with you.
Cathy, I want to ask you in a moment about what keeps you going. I know whenever I try to subtract from the number, you actually remind me so that I don't shortchange any one of your 46 years and counting, right?
Right.
I might try to subtract one or two, but you won't let me. I want to ask you about that in a moment, but first I think about how you've invested a career in other people's children, two of whom are here with us.
Yes.
One, a parent of more children you've invested your career in. And so I guess I'd want to ask both of you, Viewpoint students, alum, soon-to-be alum, parent, what do you think about how students can pay it forward, the gift the school has given them, the gift that educators like Cathy have given them?
There's such a strong character program integrated into the primary school and lower school, and the value and the opportunity and the privilege of being able to the fortunate luck, maybe I would say, of being a student in primary and lower school is that you get to be a part of this program where you get to earn or learn about these character traits. And just primary and lower school, you have to be on the stage and perform and speak. And you have to, or, maybe since post-pandemic, not so much, but you have to shake a hand getting out of a car. You have to learn how to have the soft skills of a conversationalist and just speaking to people and looking them in the eyes. So little things like that to just be a good person. Anyone can learn, anyone can, open a book and teach themselves something, but to combine the character lessons in primary and lower school along with this wonderful education that the kids can receive, having that, I would hope as a parent of Viewpoint students that anything that someone could give back would simply be amazing as their time and energy and their expertise as a Viewpoint alum, or their kind gift of money or donations, anything just simply to give back. I think just giving back your time, your love, is something I hope is a good takeaway for anyone who leaves Viewpoint as a student or as a teacher who was here for a long time. Anything we can take away, and then what can we learn from that, I think is, I don't know if I answered your question, but I think it's just the value of giving back.
Yeah.
And whatever that means to somebody. They may not be able to contribute to an endowment fund, but could they contribute their time or their connections with, as big as Viewpoint has gotten, it's still this wonderful small community. So, and there's so many different ways to give back. And I would just encourage people to give back and continue speaking up tall. And projecting from the stages and, speaking into the microphones and shaking someone's hand and greeting them with a really true, honest, hello, how are you? And, listening as Cathy does.
I got a picture of Viewpoint graduates in all walks of life showing up somehow with the traces of their education. AJ?
True. That is absolutely true, and I agree with that. When you said pay it forward, my mind went to a few months ago. A friend of mine was doing his Eagle Scout project, and he was doing some STEM-related activities for young kids at a daycare around the valley. And he asked me to be one of the volunteers, so I got to go and help these young children, like 5 to 8, build paper rockets, which we launched, and some other fun projects. And while I was doing that, I felt like I got a very small glimpse of what some Viewpoint primary school teachers get to feel, of watching them see something so simple as like rolling up a piece of paper and then be so excited about it and just have a ball with that. And that was so much fun and such an amazing experience for me. But I also at least hope that I had some sort of impact on them, and that they may remember that moment, and that maybe for one of them at least, that'll have some impact on their lives. And so when I think of paying it forward, I think of things like that, like sharing the education, but also just those experiences and that sense of awe and that fun that Viewpoint gave me with any child you interact with, because that's just an amazing thing. And you never know what's going to stick with you. I have memories from that period in my life that were just kind of random at the time, but have stuck with me all these years. And you never know what that moment's going to be.
That's so nice.
We've seen you, AJ, as a scholar, musician, saxophone, singer, actor on the stage. You were in the dance concert this weekend, showing up in competitive robotics, showing up in just about every aspect and walk of life. Do you have a picture as to how you might be carrying it forward into the next chapter of your life?
That's a tricky one. Well, I mean, kind of what I was just talking about. I hope that I can do that when I have any opportunity to, that I can keep interacting with young people and keep teaching, but keep giving people those experiences, because I really enjoy that. I enjoy explaining things, I enjoy sharing knowledge, and I enjoy showing people things they might not know, or giving people experiences like that. That's just a lot of fun, and seeing them have aha moments and understand things, or just be excited about something. And I hope that I can do that wherever I end up in the next 4, 10, 20 years.
I know you will.
I have a feeling we're going to be coming back to this and celebrating the impact that you've had. Cathy, what do you think about how these answers relate to what keeps you coming back year after year?
Well, I just love what I do, and I love every day that I'm at school with the children, with the teachers. I love to be in a group of people and sort of, chat about something and come up with an idea together. Or I do love it when children come to my office, even though they come sometimes because they had a little bit of, they needed to come talk to me because of maybe they said something the wrong way or they hurt somebody's feelings. But the best thing about it is we just have a talk, and I tell them it doesn't have to be scary. We're just going to talk about it, and we're going to see if we can come up with any different ideas on what to do next time. And then we always end up with a handshake or a hug. And each time a child leaves my office, I feel like I planted a little seed. I made a little bit of a difference, and I just really love that. I love everything about what I do every single day at school, and I just feel like I'm the one who's blessed. I'm the one who started as an assistant teacher and was able to be a teacher. I could have been a kindergarten teacher my entire life. That was as far as I was thinking. But then when Dr. Dorkowski was made the head of the school, he saw in me that I could be a leader. And he invited me to be the head of the lower school. And that changed my life again because I was not prepared to be a leader. I really didn't have the background to be a leader. But two of my other friends, Marcia Marcus and Terry Biddix, who were also teachers, we all became sort of the lower school admin group. And we spent the entire summer figuring it out. We didn't have any handbooks at this school. Now, did we think of going to another school and looking at theirs? No, we didn't think of that. So we invented it from the very beginning. And so we were able to start the processes of the things that have grown and grown. And, I think being a leader and being an administrator has forced me to come out of my shell. I don't really like to do public speaking. I didn't want to do public speaking. But you know what? I had to do public speaking, so I had to learn how to do it, and I had to learn it my way. But shaking, we've never seen people shake like I was shaking at that time. So, it's one of these things where I'm being honored, but the honor was mine to get to become who I am and get to know that I have such a heart for what we do at Viewpoint and so much pride in the students that we have here and what we can accomplish. And we have parents who have their children and they want the very, very best for their children. And when they come here, they give us their child with the hope that we are going to do our very best for them. And I do believe that we do. And I am very, very proud of how look at AJ. Look at Allison. I come to graduation every year and I'm just astounded by the accomplishments, and they just get greater and greater every year. So for me, I would just like to say thank you, Viewpoint School, because I am who I am today because of the school and the people that have entrusted me and pushed me to grow.
Hearing you talk about your students, I had this image of our character traits and of our school's values, every one of them.
Yes.
Love, honor, excellence, imagination, and optimism. You're so very optimistic for your students.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts
you.
about how we're honoring Cathy for this 40th annual benefit?
I think it's a wonderful opportunity for people to connect Cathy with so much love and joy of learning, and the wonderful character traits that we've just been talking about. It's been amazing just to grow here, as well as when you started as assistant, I started as an assistant. I don't desire to be the head of primary school. So I'm just, but I hope that this allows people who may not have been able to be a part of primary and lower school for whatever reason, maybe they just found Viewpoint too late, or they didn't live in this space to be able to attend Viewpoint. I hope it shows people who didn't know much about primary and lower school. I hope it welcomes them into knowing more about this TK through 12 space in the Canyon, where so much love and joy and wonder happens, as AJ said, and for those who have been down here as primary and lower school parents, reminding them, reintroducing them to the magic that still happens down here, and being able to see these small little voices grow into strong voices, ready to conquer the world and give back and do great things.
Strong voices, AJ?
I completely agree. Anyone who can have the opportunity to be at Viewpoint and spend as many years here as they're lucky enough to have, I hope that more people can have that experience, because it's been indescribably amazing for me, and I couldn't have imagined it any different.
Same.
I know I'm really looking forward to it. I've been to weddings for people who are close to me, and for people who aren't, and there's something very, very special. And for anyone who can come to this event or support it in any way, it's true. Even if they weren't a direct beneficiary of an education at the primary lower school, or maybe haven't gotten to know Cathy yet, you really, Cathy, embody the values of the school in such a way that we can all join and celebrate.
Thank you. I look forward to the benefit. It's going to be great.
It'll be an exceptional celebration of our
Yes, it
community
will.
and of the multi-generational family that is Viewpoint School, and so well represented in this episode. AJ, Allison, thank you so much.
Thank you
welcome. Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
This was fun, memory lane.
Isn't
It's
that
always
right?
fun to walk down.
Yes.
And here's to the next generation.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cathy, thank you. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
To learn more about the Cathy Adelman Endowment Fund for Financial Aid, visit viewpoint.org/onpoint. On Point, the Adelman Effect is produced by Viewpoint School, an independent school in Calabasas, California, serving students in grades TK through 12. You also can find the On Point podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Viewpoint School channel on YouTube, and at viewpoint.org/onpoint.